Hey guys, I'm James Montana from Equip to Endure, and today I'm going to do a little knife review. I think this might be my second or third ever, and I don't really do gear reviews often. That's kind of Adam's thing. But I have two pieces of kit here that I think really need to be talked about. There's not a lot of information out on the web about them. You guys have seen me use them and heard me talk about them in a few other videos. And I'd like to go over what I have here. So what's in front of me are two MyParangs made by Bidor out of Malaysia. The first one is the 12-inch Golock parang. Parang is really just a Malaysian word that means machete. So the first one is the Golock style 12-inch made by Bidor and handled and collared by MyParang. So these are made exclusively for MyParang. These are a little bit more of a premium parang. The second parang I have here is, again, a MyParang Bidor blade, but this one is the Duka Chendong style parang, the 12-inch, the typical what you think of as a parang, the sheep's foot style blade. When you think of a parang, this is what you think of. So I've had these blades now, I've had both of these now since the end of March. And I've used these machetes, parangs, blades exclusively since March, and it is now August, almost the end of August. And I've put a lot of wear and tear on these blades, and I feel like I'm ready to really give you guys a good review. So before I start talking about the blades, you can see them in action, so let's cue the E2E music now. For our pot, hook here for our hanger. Good. Hanger. Pot. And it'll stay there just like that, as long as I keep it in that little notch. I'm gonna put a brew on, and maybe I'll come back to you guys before the sun fades. Talk to you later. Yeah, it's pretty good for a machete that's this thick and got that kind of a convex on it. I'm not unhappy with that, that's for darn sure. Alright guys, I gotta stop playing around and get to the business of getting the fire going. Alright guys, so I've used these blades extensively, as you've seen in the video. Both of them have had equal dirt time. Let's talk a little bit about the blades themselves. They're 5160 high carbon steel They're forged blades. These are hammered out blades. These are not stock reduction blades. These are forged parangs. They're made one at a time. They're handmade in Malaysia. They are about just shy of a 1/4 inch thick where the handle begins, and the tang is a rat tail tang, but it's a 1/4 inch thick rat tail tang, and it goes into the handle to about here. You guys can see that. So it goes in about there, and the blades are very well balanced, both styles. The Duka Chendong is the lighter of the two 12-inch blades, and they do make a heavy-duty version of the Duka Chendong, but I really couldn't ever see a need to go with a heavier version than this. This is plenty heavy. They are distal tapered, so they go from about a 1/4 inch to a little less than 1/8 of an inch at the tip on the Golock, and about 1/8 of an inch on the tip for the Duka Chendong. Now, the blades are fixed into the beechwood handles with a industrial grade epoxy, and then they are pinned through the tang, and then the collar is set over the pin, so you don't have to worry about the pin working its way out when you're using it. These blades have done fantastic work. I really, really enjoy them. They're very well balanced, very comfortable. I did, the first time I used this Golock, get a little bit of a hot spot right about where your thumb meets your hand, but usually I use gloves, and I was using this blade for about 5 hours continuously. So 5 hours of heavy chopping, any blade is going to give you a little bit of a hot spot. But it only happened once, and I remedied the situation by wearing a pair of gloves. I really, really think that they are very well balanced, and they're a good value. They have a convex grind. It might say flat grind on the internet, but it's a convex edge. And they hold an edge exceptionally well, and they take an edge very good. And they are a little bit softer, and that's what the 5160 is good for. You can temper it a little bit lower, and you can sharpen it up real good. And I've only had to touch them up. I've never had to really regrind or resharpen these heavily. Just a little bit of touch up over the past couple of months, and they are hair shaving sharp. Let's get down to the meat and potatoes. These will run you about $100 a piece out if you buy them in the States. I believe they're available through Blade HQ. You can also order directly from Outdoor Dynamics in Malaysia and have them shipped. They come without a sheath, but you have the option of either a Kydex sheath or a nylon sheath that can be purchased separately for both of these. I have one of the nylon sheaths. I work with leather, so I made myself a nice leather sheath for this one, and I use the nylon sheath for this one because the shape is a little bit odd and it's a little bit harder to get this kind of belly and this kind of shape in leather. I'm not that skilled. The handles have held up well. No cracking, no checking of any sort. The beechwood material, the beechwood handle, I think it's very nice. It's very plain, it's very simple, but it's a very nice, classy touch. I do like the brass collars. I did get a little bit of discoloration on the collar. A little bit of discoloration right there and on the other side. I guess it's just from wear and tear, or maybe it's from the moisture. I don't know. They are probably copper, and then they're plated. I would imagine that's what they look like. It looks like a piece of copper pipe plated with brass. It only happened on one. The collar on this one did spin a little bit on the Golock. I did have a little bit of a spin on the collar, but the collar never came loose and it never came forward. It did spin around a little bit, and you can see I can twist it ever so slightly. But that's not really an issue. And if you pop the collar up, which I haven't done before, but let's do that now on camera. Yeah, it doesn't come up very easily. You can see where the stain line is, but you can't get the collar up to the pin. So even if the collar was to come up, if you guys can see that, You can see the collar came up a little bit over here, right here, and I put it back down now. You guys can see the difference there. So collars, there's a little bit of a gap right there, and I can just push it on back down. They are a little bit more pricey than your typical machete. Like I said, they come in at about $100 if you get them through the American distributor. And I believe if you have them after shipping, it probably winds up being pretty close to the same from Malaysia if you get them from Outdoor Dynamics. Now, if you are interested in a Malaysian forged parang like these, either style, they are available with a plastic handle and no pin, which significantly reduces the price. And there are a few distributors who sell those in the States, and again, you can get those directly from Outdoor Dynamics. And those will probably run you in the area of about $35 before shipping. Now, which one did I like better? Well, really, it comes down to a matter of personal preference. I like them both, to be honest. They were both a pleasure to use. They both worked fantastically well. I would say that this one wore my arm out a little bit less, the Dukachendong, due to the lighter weight. But I think if I was going to pick one and only one, I would probably go with the Golock. There's something about the shape and the heavy weight forward and the balance on it that I really, really like. And I think this would be my pick out of the two. But again, it's a personal choice and it's a personal preference type of thing. A lot of guys, most guys actually, tend to prefer the Dukachendong style, and there's nothing wrong with that. They're both phenomenal. Both phenomenal blades. I think they're a good addition to a kit if you're in a jungle environment, or honestly, even in a hardwood environment, as an alternative to a hatchet. I would say these are pretty good. They chop really well. They do better on hardwoods and bamboo than they do on soft, springy materials. So shrubbery or grasses. If I was cutting shrubbery or grasses, if I was going to use it for landscaping, this wouldn't be the tool for that. This is more of a heavy chopper. And I don't mean a heavy chopper like a big knife. I mean you're cutting dry and green bamboo, at which it did fantastic work, as well as some of the harder woods. Woods in the jungle tend to be very dense and very fibrous. There's no seasons here, so they just continue to grow at a steady rate. So the tree rings, if there are rings on a lot of trees, there's not here. They're really a fibery material. They're hard to chop through. So something like my Tramontina machete doesn't really do great on those, whereas that machete would be good on grasses or for landscaping purposes. So if you're in a hardwood environment or an environment that has an abundance of bamboo, I would definitely pick one of these up. I would never hesitate. I would bet my life on one of these, and I have not risked my life using one, but I trusted my life to it, and it did what it needed to do. And I have no complaints and no problems with it. So if you guys have any questions about this, feel free to reach out to me on the forums. Send me a message, or you can leave a comment below this video. I'm James Montana from Equipped to Endure, and remember, if you're not always prepared, you're never prepared. Thanks for watching.